Okay, so this time I'm not sitting in my car. I'm actually outside again for once. Some of the first ever videos that I've done on this channel were done late at night in the backyard of my parents' house, sitting on a $15 stool that I got from Ross. And this one is me sitting in the backyard of my parents, behind the garage, smoking a cigar and drinking a beer. Yeah. What life has done. There's no word of the day. That was the title of the word of the day is leisure, but I don't know the exact definition. And if I do that and I Google it, it's gonna repeat twice on the series, and that's just not gonna look right. But I'm also one to just simply smoke a cigar for leisure and not gain something out of it. Not everything you have to do in life, there has to be a sort of gain. That's true. But when you've been conditioned for so long that everything has to work towards something, the idea of resting just annoys and agitates and frustrates you. What am I working towards? I'm a 22-year-old. Wow. Great pivoting point in life. You got your whole life ahead of you, is what many will say. Across all these different boards. I don't know. I'm gonna just let this one be whatever it's meant to be. I really just like the smell of tobacco. Actually, I like the smell of tobacco a lot. I don't like the smell of cigarettes. There is a difference, and if you can't tell the difference, you haven't been around the both of them long enough. I think you just need to get tobacco scented cologne at this point, and it fixes a lot of. Would I really smoke? No, I just need to smell it. I think at this point you've already been cognitively trained to have the nicotine receptors fire off in your brain. Nicotine doesn't even help the pain relief as much as people thought so. It's more placebo that was kind of fed into the soldiers of war. So, if your soldiers are smoking cigarettes, you get to common people smoke cigarettes to chug along through the day. I still want to think of tobacco as something a little bit sacred. That's what I read online, and they say that Native Americans use tobacco for. I have to say it like that, but I don't even trust the internet as much as I would have when I was naive. Younger, naive, ignorance is a bliss. The less you know, the more peacefully you can go through life. But as you learn more about all the things that are going on, it's just so... It just is. I don't know if I'm allowed to read a book completely and put snippets, but I should read a book. So I'm gonna grab a book and then I'll be back. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it recording. Or no, I can mute this and it'll go on standby. And I'm back, but it won't look like it or it won't sound like it. But muted the mic. And thank God for the feature on the OM system where I'll just cut the recording out and I'll wait until there's more audio to continue to record. Is this self-destructive? No, it simply just is. To be aware of your loops. And to know that today is different than yesterday and the day before that. And what I'm doing right now is different and is progressing me towards the goal. That is to simply live life to its fullest, to experience a lot. My parents will bash me, and my parents will do this, my parents will do that. But I went to college. You spend so many years of your life in the current system that, like, I get to have lived upon, where we were molded into this scalable workforce where it's just go to work, do your job, get paid, go have fun on the weekends, come back to work, rinse, repeat, keep on doing it. But now there's too many people, so all the jobs are filled. And now AI, where people are like, we can cut fucking people out to increase our profit margins. The model fails, the system breaks, people begin to question. We're all now more apparent of it. And so when this bubble burst, when this one burst, a lot of people aren't going to be happy. A lot. Just so people know what I'm smoking, even though normally I won't. Give brand free sort of like you should, your word and your being, like you walk around and you are a living advertisement. That's why I choose to wear black t-shirts, like plain black t-shirts. I'll say it, I wear normal blue jeans. I wear black shoes. My outfits rinse and repeat day after day after day after day, because if you want me to wear something that represents your brand, you have to pay me a decent amount, because it's what I have to live with and what I have to represent every damn day. Also, I feel like I need to light this, kind of let it canoe on me. And also the person who wrote "It Takes What It Takes" is Trevor Moawad with Andy Staples. Now, most people will drink or they'll smoke or they'll do whatever it is without the intentions of learning a little bit more. But when I've read and what I've experienced through philosophy is that these actions clear barriers inside your mind to understand more about yourself. Subconsciously, what's going on. They poison the mind in excess. You may say they poison the mind even in moderation, because doing it, well, you're exposing your body to so many harmful things. Yet these same people are the ones that will show up to McDonald's when they've been added so many preservatives into their content. I would want to say it's about the same thing when, excuse me, when the CEO himself is shown taking a small bite size of their product. What are they eating? What are they ingesting? You might say, well, they're having fine cuisine at these amazing restaurants where they have fresh produce, some of the highest, most well-kept animals, because they work their ass off. But don't you? Do you not work your ass off every single damn day to provide? You may say, well, you know, they provide this service to other people that makes them feel like shitty, so they deserve it. Again, I'm not talking about alcohol, or I'm not talking about cigars here. These have been around for the longest time, and the people at the top have always had them too. We have access to it too. But you see, I gotta go get another beer. I already drank that one, but I'm gonna use that one as a stand for my voice recorder. What a life and a world we live in. But it's like this on purpose, because it gives us an experience. It gives us a challenge where I watch The Matrix. It's like where we sort of define our life by the amount of suffering that we've done, and we talk about the story. But there is no suffering when you understand you're exactly where you need to be at the right time, and you take proactive actions to change that. Today was a rest day for me. I didn't go to the gym. I know that my body needs to go ahead and understand and process that it is something important to me, even though I might not be doing that at this moment. That my brain is working on it. That I have to allow myself to rest, or else I'm just gonna burn myself out. Where I've experienced burnout, and it frustrates people and it hurts people, and you whip out and you lash against all the other people. It's about moderation, walking the middle line. What's the common goal that society is working towards right now? I'll tell you now. Although Elon is working towards getting to Mars for his own vision, he's not going to Mars for all of us. No, he wants to go because that's his dream. And he believes that he has the common people wrapped up in that same idea. But he only has the top 10% following that ideal. And he's like, well, those are the people with money, you know? But you have to have, what Rockefeller said, a workforce that is pioneered towards it. And so I'll say a solution. And it's a solution that I'm okay with sharing after I've thought about it. But if BlackRock owns all the housing and the wealthy on the top own all the money, and they don't need all that money, but they need workers, and we're not working and have great minds like mine, and I'm willing to openly say that I have a great mind, although it may seem egotistical. I know I also can bust my ass off thanks to my dad, thanks to my mom, thanks to my mother, thanks to experience what I have experienced in my life. They need to give more down to the bottom. They don't need all the wealth. They don't. You can only live in one house at one time. You may own multiple houses across the world that are perfectly fine wherever you want to be. That's fine. But after some point, you got to realize that people are going to be upcharging you and they're using you for your money. And you might say that's okay. Sure, that's fine. But without people working, you can't get close to your dream. And you may say, well, I'm going to keep busting my ass off entirely by myself to get to my dream. That's cool, but you made a publicly owned stock. You sell pitch to other people. You know you can't do it alone. You worked 100-hour work weeks like you talked about in a single interview. But you knew that wasn't going to be enough to get you there in your lifetime. And that scared you. So you had to start sales pitching to other people. I commend you for it. I really do. I commend you for that. Because a lot of people are following in those dreams and hopes that when the bubble bursts and you realize that a majority of people are not willing to work towards that goal, those people might turn their backs on you. You didn't teach these people how to grow their wealth and maintain their wealth, and how to continue to live how to prosper and live a fulfilling life, whatever it may be. They're gonna turn back, look inwards, and realize that's actually what I don't want to do. What I do want to do is this. And well, comedy, I'm gonna say YouTube channel. Their name is Banish the Doubt, and I have no idea what hit them in their life to understand and realize that it's just consciousness, it's just light that's reflected off their eyes to come to the same idea. But to come to that epiphany at that age and realize that the system is no longer, the system was built not to make you go wherever which way you thought. If common people are understanding that, your dream goes to a halt until you're able to remedy that. But here's my solution to some things, and it's sort of vague, but big corps that have all this money provide housing, provide food, provide all these different commodities to get people to work towards your vision. Because if they get the basic stuff, and if you tell them, hey, if you work here for 15 years or so, then you can go ahead and have everything that we've handed to you for yourself, and then after that you're able to go off and do your own thing, you'll get people behind you. People aren't busting their ass. They're not. But you say that about my generation, where we're like, we're not going to do that for this pay when it's not going to let us even buy a house. When we work in the system and Social Security is not actually going to be there for us, why would we bust our ass off? Why even push for it anymore? That's why you have a lot of my generation. Fuck that. I won't play video games all day instead. It's not because they grew up playing video games all the time. They did that because their parents were busy busting their ass off too, because they wanted to buy a house, because they wanted to make sure they get to retirement. And then people now that are in retirement, that have lived through the system up to that point, realize that there's not fucking much to do else, and they realize like, oh shit, all my good years were the ones where I was working because I don't have a body who's able to do the same things. Well, you tell us this. The older generation is telling us, hey, don't work so fucking hard. and we're like, full, we're not gonna work hard. And then you guys then complain to people who have the money, like, hey, why the fuck are you guys working so hard? Because the mass majority has already lived through the grunt work of it, and we're just like, fuck no. So you have this giant dissociation that's occurring in society. So I'm not even reading the book, I'm just talking now. But that's my remedy. Pay for relocations, provide housing, and provide great housing where people are able to grow their own garden in the backyard, make them self-sufficient, keep them occupied, keep them busy, give them the flexibility to do things. Create centers where people are able to go ahead and share their artwork so that they have that as theirs. And you can't own that stuff, because if you try to own it and say that it's a part of your business, we're not gonna work for you, because we're that aware that if someone wants to make money selling their own art and actually get out of the system that way, that's fine. You can make contracts. You have legal lawyers, you have laws, you have all this and that. You guys are already lobbyists inside the government for certain type of action, so do that. Am I helping the system by saying this? Am I doing that? No, but I'm giving an opportunity for a workforce that's willing to move into it. But if you don't like that idea, cool. I'm not going to tell you to move to a different country, but there's different parts of the states where you can move to that you can go ahead and try to figure it out yourself, and that's fine. The system didn't fail you. I'm quoting Banish to the Doubt here. It put you exactly where it needed to, because that's what it was designed to do. Hey, Bumpy. Is Mom back?
Yeah.
No. Did you let Blue up? Was he crying? You're fine, don't worry. But he ran. My cat ran, so it's okay.
He was back there?
He was here. Yep. You have a... Huh? I'm talking about the current system that we have, Bumpy, that you're living through, that's going to change as time progresses. But... I'm smoking a cigar, and I'm drinking beer in the middle of the day, because right now I don't have a job, because my bone's broken, it's healing, and I could be inside playing video games, or I could be working on something else, but I decided to do this instead.
Your cat ran that way?
Yeah, he jumped the fence. You want me to call him?
Huh?
You want me to call him?
Yeah.
Tigre! 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 Blue's inside, Tigre! Tigre! You just gotta give it time. You gonna go back inside? Alrighty. Hey, you have a game today, don't you?
Yeah.
What team?
They're back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going. I mean, it's fine. What is it? What time is it right now? Like 2? Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah, I was told if you wait for the right time, you're never gonna get started to get the start today. And that's what these are. As YouTube still stays as the predominant media platform, although we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have this and that, those algorithms know you so well that you can't even begin to venture into new territory or see things that are entirely new, because they try to throw you back in the box that they think you fit in. It's crazy. It is truly crazy. The cigar's out. Well, no, it's still warm. You're not making a good influence on your siblings by smoking a cigar. Neither are my parents, who sit on social media all day at the end of the day. Because then it just teaches my siblings, hey, it's okay to sit on social media. Guess what? When you go to, like, so, it is what it is. As it takes what it takes, it is what it is. I did spend $10. I did spend $12 on this fucking cigar. So, I actually will finish it. Thrown, kicked, put on the side of the road. People with master's degrees are homeless. People with master's degrees were working with me. I was getting paid $22 an hour at the lab company I worked at. Master's degrees, and this is what life has amounted to, because that's what life is providing. Want to travel the world, they want to buy things, they want to do things, want to own houses, want to do this, want to do that. But one coworker, in spite of all of this, is still making it happen. And I love her for that. And it's very much so because she has a significant other in her life who is also working towards the same dreams as her. And I'm very grateful to have met her. The goddess of knowledge. That's all I'll call her. She knows who I'm talking about. And at a time when I was studying Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, as I was going and traversing through my own relationship, because I just didn't want to stay stuck in a loop. Simply because I wanted with this other person to build such a future that you can't change another person. You can only change yourself. You can show them the door, but you can't make them walk through. That was said in the movie The Matrix. Great movie, by the way. Great movie. Privacy is a luxury. Smoking a cigar is a luxury. Drinking alcohol is a luxury. It's beyond the simple things that we need as people to survive as an organism. But our organism is different from many others because we have this sort of idea of free will. That's a philosophical standpoint that's been debated for so long. Free will. It exists. People are then molded and then crafted since birth to follow certain strict rules. We're at a transitioning point in history. We are. Who reigns on top of it? Those that are aware of it. I began smoking cigars because of another YouTube channel. And it's not like they told me to smoke. You should smoke cigars. You should smoke cigars. But I am 22, so I'm acting like a 22-year-old. You don't have everything figured out. You don't have to know all this. I came back at home because of whatever happened, but I'm glad and grateful that I get to spend time with my siblings, Hell, I should probably go buy pre-con magic deck and play that with my brother. I just want to play magic because sometimes the other people that are inside that circle. Fuck! Why don't you guys shower? You guys don't have access to a shower? If that's what it is, then that makes sense. But if you're able to buy these magic decks and you're able to buy cards, you can spend $25 to go to a Planet Fitness to go shower for a bit. But you make that choice not to do that. The same way you make choices to do whatever it is. However you live your life, there's nothing wrong with that. There is no right, there is no wrong, there just simply is. That is a philosophical truth that I've come to understand. There just is. And when you die, although death, I pray, is a long way from where I talk now, it is the temple that you make inside your own mind that matters a lot, that will help you traverse the ground as you regress back into the atoms that you are. This is mental work, a lot of mental work, even this moment now. A lot of these recordings, even though I openly share them, I hope at some point will be inspirational for people or be used as references for people to understand how important it is to self-reflect, how important it is to ask yourself questions about yourself. Okay. Well, I brought out a book and I haven't even read the book. You're like, dude, I've been here for the last 32 minutes and you still haven't read that book. Let's see where I'm at. I'll begin with this first sentence right here on page 83. We are responsible for telling ourselves what we are. There are options, but not choices, not really. This is particularly true for those who seek greatness. But remember that everyone has their own formula. Tom Brady has his, Fidelity CEO Abigail Johnson has hers, Alibaba founder Joseph Tai has his, the Georgia football program has its formula. The members of the Special Operations Community, the Naval SEALs, and the Army Rangers and Green Berets, for example, have theirs. As your internal and external world changes, you've got to choose to evolve. The only constant is change. So you have to be willing to examine your choices, to be conscious of your behaviors, and to adapt when you need to. That whole paragraph is very damn important. This is where the pen went, by the way, as I was reading this book. It takes hard choices. Page 83, Trevor Moawad. Would I love to talk to Moawad? Personally, I would. I would love to talk to some of the greatest minds and get to go ahead and hang out in the same rooms as them and speak about these things. I hope this acts as one of those things that maybe will come across their feed. Maybe but people get occupied, people get preoccupied. We have 24 hours in the day for them to spend the next 34 minutes of theirs to listen to some random video that popped up on their feed and understand why was this recommended to me, just for them to realize that I actually appreciate what they're doing. It would be grand. Selfish also, but grand, because you're curious enough to listen to me. So thank you. Whoever it may be. You never know. You never know. And that's why I always continue to talk and I post these, because although they sit inside my own collection of data to have that acts as a memoir for my life, I would like other people to know. And because I would love to have friends. Love to have friends. Love to know people. Love to talk to people. Love to do all these different things. Oh, it's a butterfly. Are you drunk? Not yet. How much nicotine have I ingested? Quite a bit. To be aware of all these things, that's a part of the process. Spend time with your family, Jose. That's my name, by the way, Jose. Can't tell by my voice, my name's Jose. It's not RMW. And I think I need to start delaying. I have to remove these layers so people are able to find me, not live behind this sort of mask that I present. People love the facade. People love that for some reason. They love the idea of you, but they don't like. No, I'm gonna leave it. They love the idea of you. That's the best way to put it. But when you begin to meet people at a certain level, you get lost. And there's people that are smarter than me. There's people that are. No, there's people that are smarter than me in areas that I have never crossed. Excuse me. Maybe. Dude, love is your relationships. Let me not say love. Our relationships, because of my own nature, are always so much harder. No, they're not harder, they just are. I try to change people, and that's the problem. Instead of accepting them fully who they are, but I've learned you just accept people for who they are, and you move on about your day, and you continue to evolve, and you'll continue to move. Do not become attached. Learn to detach. I gotta walk around, so. So when I went to the store, I went and bought a cigar, and I went to go buy simple. And I will say this because I personally actually like how they taste, even if the wrapper is infused with something. The Swisher Sweets. Swisher Sweets are great if you want a hit of nicotine. Sure, that's totally fine. But I think the amount of time that you sit with that one is alright. It does not match or compare to that of a cigar. Smoking a cigar is a longer commitment. I mean, I've been sitting here for the last 40 minutes since I smoked a cigar. Normally I don't drink it with alcohol. However, I also know that alcohol helps with nicotine absorption through the gums inside my mouth. Yes, you have to learn about what you're doing, why you make these actions. Why did you decide to do this? Because I have to record something. Why? Because I'm great. You must say, well, you're not great. You're nobody right now. No. I am great in this moment exactly now because I am present. I'm also a nobody in the grand scope of the entire universe, the entire cosmos, the wideness and the vastness that it is. To believe that you are so grand and great, that you are someone that is so omnipotent in this universe, you get humbled by the fact that the ground you stand on might crack on an earthquake, that the rain that's above you might drown you if it decided to. So grand, so great. I was gonna end it off there. I stomped out my cigar. But I'll read a little bit more. And so, I asked for forgiveness from Trevor Moawad for sharing some of the book instead of having other people buy it. But I believe Trevor would be very much... I don't know what he would believe. However, there was a segment where Trevor had mentioned that they're a very big fan of growth. And so me sharing this, I feel will help other people grow as well. Especially if they chose to listen to 42 minutes of this. When you're on a run of correct choices, you need to understand why you made them. You reflect on your successes as much as on your failures. Think about how you got from A to B. Many of the best I've seen had to run on the right side of choices in their lives, whether they knew it or not, and that worked for a time. For some, it worked for a long time. Then they made money, or they got a significant promotion, and then the pool of options crowded the zone, making the bullseye of choices much less clear. Some struggled after finding success because they had made the correct choices early, either out of luck or out of necessity, but didn't fully understand why those choices had brought them success. Without knowing why you've chosen wisely, you probably won't make correct choices indefinitely. Without the ability to adapt these choices, your success will become fleeting. See former Auburn football coach Gene Chizik. I think that's how you say it. I'm very much sorry if that's not. Who went from undefeated national champion in 2010 season to 0-8 in SEC play. It was fired after the 2012 season. This is where neutral thinking can help. Even after great successes, it's wise to step back and take an unbiased look at your circumstances. Then you can formulate a new plan that sets the behaviors, in parentheses choices, necessary to reach the next goal. If you think you've made it, that you've reached the mountaintop, then you're not going to set any new goals. You're not going to outline behaviors that will allow you to make good choices repeatedly. If you are what you do, then when you don't, you aren't. Our choices lead our behaviors, which impact who we become. New behaviors led by new choices create a different you. That different you can be better or worse. Choose better. Actively being present in this moment. That's not that next part. After choose better, it's just me talking. But this is why I read 20 pages per hour. You know, you could read through this whole book. You could slam through it, sure. But the self-reflection that occurs while you're reading is a very important part. Why am I choosing to read this book? Because I want to become a great. I need to actively do that. I have to understand the choices that I make lead to better things. On a day off like this, when I didn't go to the gym, I could have chose to sit inside and watch the next Matrix movie, the second one, Matrix Reloaded. Or I could decide and actually take a rest day fully, wholeheartedly, even though smoking a cigar and drinking alcohol doesn't help for muscle growth because it actually degrades it. It makes you question exactly where you stand. But I also understand that when I smoke a cigar, I get really, really great at analyzing my mental state and understanding that it removes and strips layers within my mind to understand a little bit more consciously the actions that I'm choosing. Now, drinking alcohol makes me a bit more emotional. And what I have understood and what I read from a different book called Never Split the Difference by former FBI international kidnapper negotiation was that I blanked. I blanked on where I was going to go with that. That many things first begin as emotional, and then they become logical. So if I make my emotions present, and then I put logic behind them, then I can understand exactly why did I decide to do this. It is a combination of the many things that you come across in your life, the many choices that you make that lead you to live a better life. Now, what does it mean to be better, though? I haven't read that word in my dictionary yet and understand. Excuse me. Better to me is defined by living consciously in the present moment, continuously towards those goals that you set for yourself. To understand that tomorrow is not promised, that yesterday is already past, and the only moment that it really is now is now. In a blink of an eye, your life may pass. And that usually happens when a lot of the things that you do are day in, day out the same thing. But I find it so hard to believe that you live so long and decide that life has just flown by like that. Because I believe wholeheartedly that many of us make this sort of excuse to push back some of the goals that we have in our lives. We push back what we have planned for us because of something that's currently in this moment that's abiding us to this. In my personal case, I'm living with my family. I can only talk from my personal case because it is my life, and I feel wholeheartedly when I speak from my life, it means so much more and it allows me to be better because I'm present. I love my family. I really do. I'm not gonna say any buts, ifs, howevers, this or that. And I will always consciously love them. There was a quote I think I read on social media where it was like, you could visit your family however often it may be, but you cannot visit the future that you set aside yourself every single day because you decided to stay with your family the whole entire time. What life is better? The one where you're able to do it all together. Not run from it, but face it, go through it. The only way forward is through. That is something I wholeheartedly believe. And so, I had to admit to myself earlier today that I had an addiction to social media. I might not be addicted to the conventional things that many people talk about addictions, where they talk about drugs, they talk about alcohol, they talk about this, they talk about that. But I'm addicted to social media. The idea of people pleasing, sharing my life for these small little dopamine hits. I haven't posted my physique normally, which I would, on my social media because I'm addicted to the fact that someone may like it. Anyways, I think I'm gonna leave that one off here today. This is grand. This one's a 49-minute one. I had to sit there with my Lenovo laptop because that one was what was affordable in college to me, and I'm very much fine with the Lenovo laptop. It's gonna sit there and process this for about like 13 minutes when I put a normal still image background on it. So yeah, thank you for listening. This is an exceptionally long one. I hope something can have been taken from this for someone, because I'd rather make an impact on one person than have a million people listen to this and make no impact at all. Thank you for being here. Mwah.